I think this is now fairly public information. I saw similar information on the New York Times website, so I'm not divulging anything crazy, but it basically said this. This whole concept of a containment of a virus is almost by definition ridiculously impossible. It just really won't happen. Possibly, if you would have got to this in 24 hours and literally cordoned off and maybe exterminated people in Wuhan, you might have been able to. But the way this thing is transmitted, it just goes. And so this whole idea of us trying to contain it, it's obviously futile. And we've seen these attempts be futile to contain it in America and Italy and all these other places. And it's just spreading and spreading. And of course, it spreads more, and there's more people infected, probably by a factor of 10 than we even know, because a lot of people don't show symptoms, etc. So now we're in this delay stage. Now, the reason they have the delay is because people that are going to be affected by this virus, and I'll talk about this shortly, are the ones that are sick, that are elderly, that have respiratory problems. Those are the ones that are going to clog up the hospitals here in the UK and in America. And it means if there's 10,000 people that need respirators because they're getting pneumonia, they'll turn them away and they'll die. If we can delay this, it spreads those cases out and they can handle that reality. So that's an understandable thing. But here is a fact that you need to get your head around. And when I heard about this on Friday, I went a bit low for a while until I understood what was happening. And that's this: 70 to 80% of the population on this planet are going to get the coronavirus, period. That means most likely you and me and your family and your kids. It's going to happen. It's going to happen in the next month or the next 4 months, or it's going to come back next winter and hit everyone. And if we look to history, the Spanish flu, which killed, I think, 40 or 50 million people around the world, about 1% of the population, I think, it came in 1917, but it didn't obliterate the population until 1918, when it came back in the winter flu seasons where everyone's immunity is low, and it nailed everybody. The good news is that a small percentage of us will die. Now, the numbers are still out right now, but the latest intelligent numbers say about 1%. But this has really moved out on the spectrum. We're seeing very few children or no children dying from it. Healthy adults from, say, 18 to 40, it's like 0.2% is what they reckon. And then 50, 60 and over, it's like 10 to 15%, and anybody with respiratory issues. So those are the people that are going to die, and they're going to die, and it's going to be sad, and hundreds of thousands of people are going to die from this, and it's going to be those people. And that means you have to be careful around those people. We have to make sure they have beds. You need to stay away from elderly people, and you need to tell them to stay put and try to stay isolated. If you can, stay healthy, stop smoking. That's not going to help you. Sleep better, get your vitamins, get your healthy lifestyle up, eat better, stop drinking. There was a guy on Rogan that said the obesity epidemic in America is not going to do anyone any favors when it comes to their immune system. So take this stuff really seriously. It's really important to learn. I honestly think I'm 80 to 90% right, but I'm not a doctor. So please try to corroborate this with other people. But I hate living in fear and living in the unknown. And I was, having a weird moment yesterday thinking, okay, 1.5 million people are going to die on this planet. And I don't think those numbers are accurate, because what happens is if I get a version of the virus that you've already had and got immune to, it might be weaker or different. I have less reaction to it, and it morphs as it goes through people, and it becomes less dangerous. So the mortality rate typically drops over time. This is going to be our reality for the next couple of years. The last thing is vaccines. Vaccines take 18 months, they think, to develop it, and then years more to test. For some of the things like MERS and SARS, they never developed a vaccine. So forget about that. It's all going to be what humans have done for millions of years, which is to figure this out with our own systems. We're going to ride this thing out. It's going to be a new part of our reality. And look, I've been through the 2008 crash. I lived through the AIDS scare, where it was crazy. Oh my God, what's happening? We're dying. We're going to get it from a toilet seat. I remember all that. And at the end of it, we found a way through it. And now as humans, we behave slightly different when it comes to things like that. That's smart. And that's what we're going to do with this thing as well. And we will overcome and we will rise. I think we'll be better people. I already find that everyone's being nicer, except when they don't want to touch your hand. Okay. But I'm already being nicer to people, because the only way we're going to get through this is get through this together. And I'll say one last thing. This could be that test we were looking for as a society, the thing that's going to bring us together and show us that we truly are all one. Let's remain calm. Let's remain focused. Let's use the science. That is the message here.